Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? You may have seen a news story that UPS is cutting 20,000 jobs and closing over 70 facilities. Absolutely true. It is happening by the end of this year into 2026. And so a lot of people are blaming this on the tariff war that Donald Trump has started with other countries. And while that is playing a part in all shipping companies' volumes being down because less packages coming in and shipping, the actual reason is that they have requested a decline in volume with their biggest customer, you guessed it, Amazon. So Amazon handling more packages themselves, not going through UPS. UPS also says that their relationship with Amazon is such that they make very, very thin margins on the packages they deliver, because Amazon always does this thing where they say, we'll give you tons and tons and tons of volume, we'll give you tons of customers, but we want to make, we don't want to pay that much money. We want you to make just very, very little on us, but we'll give you all this business. And a lot of people, it's tempting because they're like, wow, I'd rather make, 2% of millions of dollars rather than 20% on pennies, other smaller customers. So UPS decided, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to focus our attention more on these higher dollar, higher paying, profitable companies and packages than we are on these razor thin Amazon margins. And Amazon is in a position to do that because they have the money, they have the workforce, and they have their own delivery vans. So if UPS decides we don't want to deliver any more Amazon packages, Amazon's like, hey, cool, we'll take care of it, right? A lot of other people don't have that ability. And so that's where they're at. Now, Amazon and UPS are going to continue working with each other. It's just going to be at a much less volume count. And so 20,000 jobs will be cut by the end of this year, and it's a cost-cutting effort, which they are saying is to pay shareholders and executives more money, to be more profitable, and to give out more bonuses. Welcome to America and corporate USA. We all know about that, right? These actions will enable us to expand our U.S. domestic operating margin and increase profitability. Brian Dykes, the chief financial officer, he's the CFO of UPS, said during their earnings call on Tuesday morning. And in the Tuesday regulatory filing, UPS said the cuts are in connection with our anticipation of lower volumes from our largest customer, Amazon. The company announced $21.5 billion in revenue for this past quarter and expects to save $3.5 billion this year as part of the consolidation plan. So that looks like they're doing like $100 billion a year. They're going to save 3.5%. That's huge numbers for a company their size. The company said it had reached an agreement with Amazon to decrease its delivery volume by more than 50% into the second half of 2026. So between now and next year, 12 months from now. The reduction of package volume from Amazon is something UPS chooses to do as we focus on revenue, quality, and increase domestic operating margin and profitability. In other words, they'd rather have a lot more profitable packages than a lot less profitable but more volume from Amazon. I don't know if that's really the right route to go. UPS delivers millions of packages worldwide, an average of 22.4 million per day, or 5.7 billion for the entire year. UPS shares slipped 55 cents or 0.6% in afternoon trading. So that is pretty much the news. In the quarterly earnings statement, UPS said they handle roughly 400,000 imported parcels each day, or roughly 2% of the packages they move on a daily basis. Still, the company could be impacted if the trade war between China and the U.S. continues. So it's definitely costing them a little bit, the trade war and the tariffs, but it is not the reason that they are cutting all of these jobs. From a revenue perspective, last year, revenue on our China to U.S. trade represented 11% of total international revenue. So not even of the entire company, just their international revenue. Our China to U.S. trade lines are the most profitable trade lines, shocker. But probably on the entire company, it's only a few percentage of their entire revenue. So UPS definitely keeps their customers abreast of the tariff developments on the website. You can check that out. The tool is called the UPS Global Checkout. Amazon also is coming under pressure over tariffs, with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on Tuesday accusing the retailer of engaging in a hostile and political act after political news site Punchbowl reported that Amazon plans to display tariff costs next to the product prices. Although I heard that is fake news and not true. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years, Leavitt said during a press conference. Amazon pushed back, saying on Tuesday that its Amazon Hall store considered the idea of listing import charges on certain products. The haul store is the items they're getting from China to compete with Temu and Shein, and they have a whole entire, under $20 section on there. I did a video about it. I'll link the Amazon haul store below too. You can check that out. Amazon Haul was introduced late last year by the e-commerce giant to sell low-cost goods to compete with Temu and Shein. This was never approved, and it is not going to happen. So that is fake news. They're not going to put the tariff price next to the item you're buying on Amazon. Yay. It's always something with these people, right? UPS, Amazon, Trump, the administration, the White House. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening every day. I could make 1,000 videos about it, but the long story short here is UPS is firing, laying off, getting rid of 20,000 people, closing 70 facilities just to make themselves more profitable. It's not going to slow down their service. It's not going to change very much with how they operate. On a side note, I had an eBay item get damaged, $475. I knew it was going to get damaged when I shipped it. I used a half a roll of bubble wrap. I'll put a picture up. I double boxed this thing. It was not moving in the box. The box has a big dent in the side of it. Big shocker. I refunded the customer, which sucks, $475, like $416 out of my pocket after fees. And I also filed a claim. I filed an insurance claim that they denied. I appealed it. They denied that. So now I get to call UPS and go, hey, look, guys, I ship a lot of stuff, and I have literally a dozen pictures of the item wrapped up in a half a roll of bubble wrap with the boxes and packaging. I have the pictures from the listing showing it in perfect condition, and I have the pictures when it arrived to the customer, who was cool about it. Thank you very much, Jim, for being awesome. Showing the damage inside the box before it was taken out, that it was clearly damaged in shipping, and they're saying that I didn't do a good enough job packaging it, which is complete nonsense. I mean, literally the pictures speak for themselves. Again, I'll put it up there. But yeah, so I'm not defending UPS. I'm pretty upset with them right now. I'm trying to get them to pay me my $416 after fees. We'll see how that works out. I'll update you as I do on my social media. But as always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. This will probably come out on the weekend. Please go follow me over on TikTok, Casey Paris, Rockstarflipper. I'll link it below. Follow me on TikTok and check out the new podcast, Never Offended. If you are offended by anything, do not go watch that podcast. We talk about everything from business to life to love to men to women to sports to politics to news. You name it, we talk about it. Never Offended podcast. Available on Apple, Android, Spotify, YouTube, and everywhere else. I'll link that below as well. So follow me on TikTok, go check out the podcast, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.